Sometimes if you have an LLC and you're looking for a business line of credit, it's always important to look for a soft pull sort of lender, right? Because the thing is, you're trying to really preserve your business credit score and your personal credit score for that matter. So no hard pull initially. You want to go for a lender that pre-qualifies you. So in today's conversation, what I want to do quickly, I want to compare and contrast four players who will take care of you if you are interested in an LLC business line of credit with a soft pull. So we have Funding Circle, right? We have BlueVine, and then we also have Credibly, and the fourth one is right now we have a National Business Capital. Okay, so let me start with the Funding Circle. So when you think about Funding Circle, I want you to think about a lender who is constantly trying to innovate. Okay, they actually they would pre-qualify you. So this is the whole thing about soft pull. So they have a form on their website where you go, just enter your some kind of basic information. They'll let you know how much you can qualify for. So you have fast, flexible funding for your LLC. Okay, and you can qualify for $5,000 to $250,000 with the Funding Circle. So your LLC can get as much in a business line of credit. Okay, and there are no prepayment fees. You only pay interest on the drawn funds. Okay, so when you think about Funding Circle, what we love about their program is that they take care of you all along. They actually will advise you. They will actually assign a business. I would say they call it a credit advisor to you, who will explain everything to you. And this is just fantastic. By the way, welcome back to the show. We really appreciate having you here. It's just really wonderful. And one thing I want to say here is that Funding Circle has a very clear and very simple 3-step application process. So you can check your eligibility and apply in minutes. Okay, they have a streamlined process that makes it a lot easier to discover the right financing options for your business at no cost or obligation. Okay, and this has no effect on your personal credit score. And then your dedicated credit advisor, or AKA your account manager, will get in touch with you after you have uploaded your information. Okay, and so you get approved and get funded. And again, all of this I'm saying, it has nothing to do with your personal credit score. It has nothing to do with your LLC revenue. Okay, once you actually pre-qualify, you will know at that point what kind of financing programs you could qualify for. Number two, I want to talk to you about BlueVine real quick. So when we talk about BlueVine, we're talking about a business lender, a business line of credit provider that's been kicking ass for the last 10 years. I mean, they are really good. Okay. And with BlueVine, you can obviously pre-qualify. Okay. So they have a soft pull. You can get credit lines up to $250,000, so $250,000. This is really good. And their rates are really low as well. I mean, 6.2%, that's the floor here. Fantastic. And we love the fact that with BlueVine, things are really flexible. I mean, they have a flexible line of credit. They have a flexible ways of dealing with you. They have flexible ways when it comes to the fees and charges they put on your account. Just fantastic. And you can get a decision in as quick as 5 minutes. This is really good. So when you think about BlueVine, I want you to think about the fact that you actually have funds available on demand. You only pay for what you use. You have access to revolving credit, and you have financing that actually grows with you. Okay. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic again, because this is important to contextualize the conversation we're having here. We're doing a quick comparative analysis of four players when it comes to LLC, business line of credit, soft pull, no hard pull initially. So we are comparing Funding Circle to BlueVine, to Credibly, to NBC, National Business Capital. One thing I want to say here is that the way BlueVine business line of credit works is very simple. So you apply online, you go through their pre-qualification form, you enter some basic information, and they'll let you know whether you pre-qualify or not. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. And then you draw funds, you make repayments, and you access more funds. So it's kind of simple. Okay. Now I want to share with you, BlueVine has actually shared publicly their minimum qualifications. So in terms of FICO score, you got to have at least 625. Okay. You got your LLC has to be in business for 24 months at least, even though we have seen instances where BlueVine actually approved LLCs that were very young, in terms of operational experience, and they want you to have at least $40,000 in monthly revenue. Okay, and your business must be operating or incorporated in an eligible United States. Okay, so not U.S. states, so it has to be in the union. And so what you need to apply, you need to have basic details about you and your business, bank connections or bank statements for the past 3 months, and your business must be in good standing. I want to talk to you now about Credibly. So when we talk about Credibly, we're talking about a lender that allows your LLC to get a business line of credit with a soft pull. Okay, so you can actually explore all loan options, all business loan options that Credibly has by going through their pre-qualification form. So the cool thing, what we love about Credibly is that they allow you to actually talk to someone. So instead of pre-qualifying on the website, you can actually pre-qualify by speaking to someone. Okay, so you can don't get me wrong, you can do it both ways. You can actually pre-qualify online on their website, or you can pre-qualify by talking to someone. So, or you can do both actually. So if you want to talk to someone, the number here is 1-888-991-3954, 1-888-991-3954. And one thing I also want to say here is that Credibly is really good in terms of accelerating the whole process. Okay, they'll get you the cash as soon as possible, that you don't have to waste time. Okay, and they will approve you all the way to $150,000. $150,000. And the one thing I also need to say here is that Credibly is really good in terms of helping you maintain the level of kind of working you through their process. Okay, now let me give you some information about their line of credit application details for your LLC. So 600, at least 600 in personal credit score, 6 months in business. You got to be located in the United States, and you got to have $180,000 minimum in annual revenue. $180,000. So that's about $15,000 minimum per month. Okay. And in terms of the required documentation, they will ask you basic details about you and your business. Unexpired government issued picture ID of all owners, bank or financial statements from business checking accounts or accounts receivable. This must be the most recent 3 months. Okay. And for loans over $100,000, Credibly will actually require your most recent business tax return. So it is what it is. I mean, and when we talk about your tax return, this will have to be both though. It has to be the personal tax returns and your LLC tax return. So your 1065. So your 1065 along with the accompanying schedules K1. Okay. And in terms of so that will also be with your 1040. This is important. Let me talk to you now about National Business Capital. This is the fourth player we're actually reviewing to this conversation. So National Business Capital is really interesting because they do have very high approval rates. And actually, they say that they actually have a 90% approval rate. In our research, we have seen that they are around 84%. Okay, but listen, 84% is still impressive. It's really, really impressive. So with National Business Capital, you have 84 to 90% approval rate. You're basically getting your LLC business line of credit real fast. They do have a soft pull application process, so you're basically preserving your FICO score. This is really good. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What are we talking about here? We're actually comparing and contrasting 4 players when it comes to LLC business line of credit, soft pull, no hard pull initially. Okay, we are comparing a funding circle. We're comparing funding circle to National Business Capital, to Credibly and BlueVine. It's important to understand that so the line amount that we're talking about with NBC, National Business Capital, you're talking about $25,000 to $5 million. And this is a revolving line of credit, so this is why. And one thing I need to say that NBC is not a direct lender. NBC is a loan marketplace. It's a lender marketplace. So NBC is kind of similar to Lendio, okay? It's kind of similar to Smart Biz in some way, shape, or form. So they actually have 75 to 100 lenders, business lenders, who are basically working with all kinds of borrowers anyway. So if you are interested in getting an LLC business line of credit, soft pull, you want to go through NBC to National Business Capital. And if you see a lender who really loves your profile, then you can decide to work with that specific lender. And one thing I also need to say here is that, the 25,000 to 5 million, this is really generous. And this is simply because they do have so many lenders who are vying for your business. So this is really good to be in a situation where, lenders are literally vying for your business. They're actually fighting for your business. This is really cool. So here is the decision you have to actually think about. So LLC, business line of credit, soft pull, no hard pull initially. So Funding Circle versus BlueVine versus Credibly versus National Business Capital. Which one should you go after? Which one should you choose? Okay, well, it really depends. Okay, it really depends. So when we talk about choosing a business line of credit, you need to have a few pointers to kind of help you in the decision-making process. Okay, you can't just decide like randomly that, I want to go for Funding Circle, or I love National Business Capital, or I love Credibly's logo, or BlueVine's. No. You really have to you have to keep in place you have to use a formula to decide which one is better for you. So first, you need to evaluate your business's needs. Okay, so when we talk about your business's needs, you need to think about the line amount. So determine how much money you would like to have available in your business line of credit for your LLC. You need to think about the draw frequency. So you need to decide how often your LLC needs to draw from your line of credit, because some lenders have restrictions allowing a set numbers of draws per month or quarter. If, for example, your LLC may use your line of credit for payroll, you will need a financial institution that allows 1 or 2 draws per month. Okay, and you also have to think about secured versus unsecured. So are you able to secure your LLC business line of credit with collateral? If so, you might not only qualify for a higher amount, but also at a lower interest rate. Okay, if you prefer to put up, let's say, collateral and want to have an unsecured business line of credit for your LLC, you may have a high interest rate. So this is something you need to think about. Now, overall, one thing I want to say here is that you can't just like decide these things out of thin air. You have to put things in writing. You have to sit down and ask yourself, what am I getting here? What kind of am I getting a fair deal? Am I getting am I getting the right deal actually? And those are really important. And sometimes you got to sit down with your staff too. If you're not a single member LLC, let's say you are a multi-member LLC, for example, it's important to decide on financing needs together to brainstorm about important issues. Okay, this is important. So the first thing you want to do is to assess your LLC business's needs. The second thing I want you to do here is to really research lender requirements. Okay, so we have actually talked about Funding Circle, we've talked about BlueVine, we've talked about Credibly, we have talked about NBC, National Business Capital. The question is, what are the requirements for each loan? Okay, and this is something that's very easy. We have actually reviewed all of those lenders on this show. It's important to understand that you got to think about your annual revenue. So annual revenue is really important. Why? Because some lenders, they look at annual revenue as a starting point. And why lenders don't ask for monthly revenue sometimes, because they know that some industries are sort of subject to gyrations, to temporary gyrations, to trends, to yo-yos. So they look at the year, okay? And so you want to research lender requirements. You want to think about things like annual revenue, the business plan. It's important. A loan proposal. Some lenders want you to have a loan proposal. Even if you're looking for an LLC business line of credit, they want you to really explain, okay, in terms of years in business, okay, how long has your LLC been in business? This is important. The industry you're in, okay, your business credit score. So your LLC business credit score also plays an important role. And what is your personal financial history also? I mean, you're asking for an LLC business line of credit, but the lender wants to make sure that you are clean on the personal side too, that you don't have some kind of skeletons in your financial closet. Okay, so because if you do, then your credit profile will actually change a lot. And so they also want to ask you if you have had, or if you currently have other debts and obligations. Okay, and as with a personal loan, Lenders for LLC business lines of credit want to determine whether or not you can afford additional debt. Okay, and they will need to know exactly what other financial obligations you have, including other loans or lines of credit, balances on business credit cards, and monthly bills and payroll figures, and so on and so forth. So this is the kind of holistic view, the kind of global view that a lot of LLC lenders want to have. So before you decide whether you want to go for Credibly, BlueVine, for National Business Capital, or for Funding Circle, you need to think about those things. The third thing I want you to do here is to compare your options. So you have to compare your options because as you work on your research, you may want to create you may want to create a spreadsheet where you can actually compare and contrast everything. You want to compare Funding Circle, comparing BlueVine, comparing. It's always good to have things side by side so you can see exactly who wins, who is kicking ass, or who's just losing. Okay, and so think about the maximum credit limit, think about the interest rates, think about the fees, think about the payment reporting, think about the draw period length, think about the repayment terms. So those are important elements that you need to think about. Okay, and so you constantly want to pre-qualify. This is the whole conversation. This is what this whole conversation is about: pre-qualification, soft pull. So you are constantly saving your points here. Okay, your FICO points. This is important. And you want to apply for the best business line of credit. Once you've done all the research, you need to apply. Now, it's important to understand that application is really, really quintessential. And the way you do it will actually qualify or disqualify you. This is why you always want to talk to a rep at the lender. Here is how things goes. Let's say you have chosen BlueVine, for example, right? And so your very first reflex will be to call BlueVine. You want to call BlueVine, you'll let them know that you're interested, blah 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 blah. So they'll let you know. They'll tell you to actually fill out the form online. And so you ask more questions if need be, but you fill out the form and you just send it. They'll take a look. They'll see if you qualify right away. They'll let you know right away. You don't have to wait like 6 months or 3 months because no. With BlueVine, things are really fast. I mean, for a lot of other players too, but for National Business Capital, things are a little different because you don't have a direct lender. You do have a constellation of like you don't have a single lender, but you have a constellation of different lenders. Okay, so it's really important that you might be surprised at what you get at the end. Okay, but it's important to understand that when we talk about you choosing the best business lender for your business line of credit and LLC, make sure that your LLC has the proper documentation, has things like financial statements. That your LLC has things like business plan, business licenses and permits, anything that will actually make your application stand out. Please do that, and please don't be lazy when it comes to gathering all the paperwork that is needed, because it's better that you do the research now that so you actually get the data right now than actually wait for a few months down the road and then you realize you don't have time to do any more of this. So very important to prepare for everything when it comes to ALC, business line of credit, soft pull, no hard pull initially. So after analyzing Funding Circle, Credibly, National Business Capital, and BlueVine, our pick is BlueVine. So we think BlueVine is the best here. Okay, so we have rated BlueVine 9.8 over 10, National Business Capital 9.5 over 10, Funding Circle 9.1 over 10, and Credibly 8.6 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.